Chapter 3 is about monitoring and learning of policy influence and policy engagement interventions. And it covers why monitoring and learning of these kinds of things are different and need to be treated differently, and also what kinds of things you can monitor in these environments, covering a whole range of things from the management of these interventions, the outputs, the uptake, and the outcomes and the impact. It then talks about particular data collection and data analysis techniques and tools, and ends with a discussion around sense-making and how teams can work together to understand the significance of the data that they're collecting to make decisions. This chapter is going to be useful primarily, I think, for programme managers and the people actually at the coalface of these interventions, whether they're researchers or campaigners or programme officers, because it's going to give them tools to actually help them manage their programmes. It's going to help them collect data in real time. It's going to help them build learning and sense-making systems and processes in real time, and it'll also help them to understand what they need to commission out to researchers or to evaluators. But I think the monitoring and evaluation professionals will also find this useful as well, because increasingly they have to find ways of actually monitoring and evaluating these kinds of interventions, and we're all becoming aware that they need different treatment. We saw in Chapter 1 that policy influencing and policy engagement can be complex, and there are different dimensions to complexity, one of which is the multitude of stakeholders involved in these processes. And these stakeholders are going to have different information needs, and they're going to need different kinds of data at different times to make different decisions. So in this chapter, in monitoring and learning, a good place to start is actually by setting out who these different stakeholders are, what their information needs are, when they need that, and for what purpose. And being really clear on the monitoring purposes is crucial, really. And there are we lay out in the chapter 9 different purposes that you might want to review. And leading on from these, you can then decide what kind of tools you need to collect data, what kind of processes you need to analyse the data.